Hey, what's going on? It's Jordan. I'm your host of the Hack of All Trades. This is episode 6. And I'm your host, the Hack of All Trades podcast. This is a podcast where I try a little bit of everything. I'm terrible at a little bit of everything. And I report it to you. I'm one of those types of people that, ooh, shiny new thing, try it out, never touched it again for 6 months. Ooh, shiny new thing, try it out, never touched it again for 6 months. I'm a hack of all trades. And I want to just share my experiences with you, the listener, the viewer, you, Mr. or Mrs. or Zis's. I don't know. I want to share it with you. Well, I'll start off by having you know, listener, that I started this, I recorded this entire episode, got done, and noticed that there was no audio recording. Oh, my bad. So, 20 minutes of airtime, all for nothing, so that I can re-record it now. Hopefully it'll be, even if it's half as good, I'll be happy, because whenever you do something again like that you was kind of off the cuff podcast, like, it's hard to just like set up and do it again and hit all the same points and sound as genuine, saying the same things that were genuine and off the cuff at the time. So I'm gonna re-record this and hopefully keep it fresh, keep it exciting, and yeah, I don't want it to feel like scripted, like, oh, I did this last time, so let me do it again. So I'm just gonna touch on some of the things I did and maybe some different things, and who knows, maybe this episode will be way better, cover way more topics. The first thing, you might notice that I'm wearing my headphones today. Reason being is in that last episode, episode 5, my friend Tanner was on, and I had my new headphone amp delivered. It is an awesome headphone amp. I would recommend it if you have a pair of high impedance headphones. High impedance headphones are ones that are high in ohms. So mine take 250 ohms to drive. And so this Beyerdynamic amplifier, the A20, is a great amplifier for that. If you are into the audio world or all that sort of fun stuff, people have mixed feelings about these headphones. Some people tend to say the treble stabs them in the ears. Generally, people like the soundstage and the open back and sort of just how wide and precise it is. But some people do have problems with the treble. I personally don't, but that is something that people sort of have. Some people have an issue with. So the A20 came and I hooked it all up after our podcast with Tanner, and I worked maybe like another 8-hour shift, like on top of the end of my day, because of just how much I was enjoying sitting at the computer listening to music. And it was emotional in a lot of ways. I was telling my friend, telling Tanner, that it was emotional in a lot of ways, because it was like listening to a lot of songs that, you know, maybe at one point in your life these songs meant a lot to you, or, you know, were just special for that place and time in your life, and listening to those again was, you know, emotional. It brought up a lot of, you know, sort of those nostalgic feelings, or, you know, whatever was you're going through in that time. And it was awesome, just because you felt like you were sort of, you know, that song, it feels like the first time. It felt like the first time, the very first time. And it was really, really awesome. And it was an experience I haven't had in a while, with just listening to music from like my phone. And yeah, that's why I got my headphones on now. Is I'm just gonna keep jamming like all forever, hopefully, or maybe just like the next month, and then, like a hack of all trades that I am, I'll never use it again. But I have a feeling this one might stick around. But yeah, I also, another reason I got the headphones on as well is so the Focusrite, where my mic goes into, it has a direct monitor function where I can plug my headphones into the front of it and get a direct monitor where I can hear this mic live in my headphones, and it can help when you're recording things like this. But these headphones are so hard to drive that it was really poor. I had to have it up at like 100% to even kind of hear it. and then you're dealing with distortion at having the gain at 100% on the monitor. So what I did was, once I got this new amp, I could run the outputs on the back of the Focusrite over to the Beyerdynamic, and then that has 2 inputs on the back, and one input on the back, one RCA in, one RCA out. That will take the input from the Focusrite into my headphone amp, which I can then obviously shoot into my headphones, and I can turn on direct monitor, and it works, which is awesome when I'm using the headphone amp to, amplify the signal. So it's pretty sweet. Pretty happy with it right now. This, like I said, this whole setup and, getting FLAC files and music again has just been really, really enjoyable. Really been enjoying myself in the music space again lately, and just listening again, and I don't know, setting time aside in your day to just, it was like meditating, right? You just take some time, set it aside, listen to some music, or sit quietly in a corner, but kind of zone out. Don't let the daily minutia get to you anymore. Just kind of take some space for yourself. It can be pretty healthy and also pretty rejuvenating. Definitely got me feeling like, okay, I can get back to work and be productive. Yeah, so here is, let me show off this little unit. This unit right up here, baby. This is the A20. This is what I got. You can see its list price here. I got it actually much cheaper than that. I won't tell you my ways. But yeah, so it's a pretty powerful little thing. Real heavy. 2 headphone outputs on the front there. Really great. In case you want to share the listening experience, your input and your output. And so I have a pair of powered, or well, they're not powered monitors, but I have a pair of bookshelf speakers next to my computer, which they have their own separate amp for. But oftentimes the issue is if I want to play my computer on the speakers, I have to go to my output settings in Windows and set the output to that amp and go from there. It's not like it's the end of the world. Very first world problem. But now with this, I can run my Focusrite into the input. The output, I can take this over to my amp for my bookshelf speakers, and then whether or not this unit is on or off, it can pass that signal through. So it will just pass it through. It won't amplify it or anything like that, but it will just pass through that signal onto whatever else. So if I were to turn my amp off right now, I could turn on my other amp for my bookshelf speakers, and this signal I wouldn't have to change my output on my computer from the Focusrite. It could still go to the Focusrite, then to my amp, and then out. And so basically the Focusrite can be sort of my permanent DAC. For now, I don't think it's going to stay my DAC for very long. Just because DACs, man, they're their whole own thing you can look into, and to use one integrated with the little mic guy is, I don't know. I'd rather have something kind of dedicated and workhorse, but that's later on. One of these times I'll get a new shiny DAC and I'll show it off to all of you, but I can show you my old one, my little DAC amp combo. My old guy. I'm going to keep him because he's portable. It's battery charged. You can even charge your phone when you're not using it. But yeah, so this is what I was using. It's a DAC amp combo. So it can power these headphones when I'm on the go with my phone, because my phone sounds like crap through these headphones because they need power. They need some oomph, or else these just don't sound very good. So, yeah, that's why you get things like this headphone amp. That's why the audiophile world exists. It's a real place. It's where people get crazier and crazier the farther you go into it. So I mentioned it in my last one, but I'll mention it again in this new hot take. But yeah, the farther you go into the audiophile world, the more just kind of crazy it gets. The more people have, harsh opinions on things that other people would be like, this is the best unit I've ever used. Somebody might be like, this is terrible because I'm used to $10,000 amps and blah, blah, blah. Really like snobby people. And that's just stuff you got to ignore. You got to just use, it's personal. It comes down to personal preference. What sound are you going for? Do you not know? Okay, then try different amps. Try different headphones. You'll be amazed at how different your headphones can sound on a different amp, Are you using a preamp? You want to get tubes involved? What DAC are you using? It's the whole chain can be looked at in terms of where you can tinker with the sound, all the way up to I'm looking at modding my headphones to have a detachable cable and different ear cups, and the different ear cups are supposed to improve the bass response in these headphones. So you can really tinker to get the sound to be what you want. So if it's just not right, don't think that you got to return everything. There's a lot of little things you can try before you got to go get new gear, better amps, this, that, and the other. So just make sure you keep that in mind, that you are the ultimate sort of person to please. Just because one person has this whatever thing set up does not mean that you need to have that as well for it to sound good to you. You might find a $200 setup sounds better to you than a $2,000 setup. Great. Absolutely no problem with that. But, like I said, when you get involved in the audiophile world, sometimes you meet people that do have problems with that, and it's just annoying. All I'm telling you is just ignore them. You don't have to pay attention to that sort of stuff. Find what sounds good to you and work with it. It's a fun process, but like I said, for me it's a process of love. It's like, man, I just get to rediscover all the music growing up and just listen to it, see what sounds great, why, oh man, these headphones sound super good with classical music. Okay, wow, I'm gonna just go listen to that all day, or whatever. But it's just a really fun experience to work on that sort of stuff and work on your audio equipment if you like, if any of this sounds interesting. It's just fun stuff to look into. So that's my A20, and that's my new baby. And I'd recommend looking into this one. There's a Klipsch that's a really nice. Let me see if I can find that real quick for you. There's a really awesome Klipsch headphone amp. Yeah, here it is. Wow. And Z Reviews, Zeos, he's a really cool guy on YouTube, does a review of this guy, and it seems awesome. Like, it just seems like the most satisfying knobs, buttons, flickers, bloop, 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 everything you need to power either your balanced or unbalanced. But the balanced part, oh, I want that. I want it. Yeah, it just looks very, very nice, very classy. I don't think you could put that on a desk and it not look better. Or I don't think this can make anything look worse. It's pretty sharp. So yeah, there's a whole world out there of amps and things like this. The Beyerdynamic's the one I went with, but you might think this thing's the coolest and sounds even better. So yeah, go with this. This even has more input options: USB, optical, coax, and line. So hey, have some fun with this if you want. But yeah, so that's kind of the whole world you can start getting into. And like I said, you can do things even to your headphones, like changing the ear cups, doing really other minor mods, changing the cable, can all make big differences in the sound. For example, these headphones that I'm wearing are the DT990 Pros. And this guy, AFK headphones, I think his name is Sam. You can actually find reviews of this modded version on YouTube because he will do them for you. I believe you can either send them to him or order them the pair and the mod all done together. And he adds a removable cable, pretty awesome, one of those mini XLR cables, similar to what's on the AKG headphones. Different pads and some different sort of like screens in there. Apparently it changes the sound profile to be much better for a lot of the people that complain about the treble issues. And I watched Z reviews of these, and he loved them in comparison to the regular 990 600 ohm versions. So I'm pretty curious to try and do some mods like this in an effort to get even different and better sounds out of my headphones without, because there's always going to be sort of that desire to, what headphones are better, but I'm happy with what I have, and I want to just get the best I can out of them, because I don't plan on changing for a while. So there are some cool things you can do like this, like modding your actual headphones which can produce really different sounds for you. So some things to consider if you're going to get into this whole audio world that I have fallen into once again. Every time I fall into it, it's just like, oh man, I'm here again, and I want all the expensive gear just to sit around and listen to music all day. Oh, it's kind of funny how it turns out that way. But I don't know. Like I said, it's been a joy to listen to music like that again and just be like, yeah, totally overwhelmed by how good a song can sound, how good headphones or, music can make you feel. It's been just kind of nice. I'm so used to listening to podcasts while I work and stuff, and now that could listen to some music like this, it's just no comparison. I would much rather listen to music all day now. So yeah, do yourself a favor, find some headphones you like, get a little cheap amp. It doesn't have to be $400. You can get one for like $60. It'll make your computer, it'll make your phone sound way better. Trust me. And yeah, start to, if you've never had a listening experience of music that's like moved you to tears, then you haven't listened on good enough headphones or amps and whatnot. Like, it literally can move you to tears to hear a song that you've heard a million times, even one that's not sad, just because of just how good it sounds. And I think you'd be surprised if you find sort of that perfect matchup, just how emotional it can be to listen to music. Oh, well, there's my music rant. Probably came in a little bit shorter and tighter than my first recording. But that's all right. It was fun. It was cool. It was different. And to all you listener or listeners, probably one or two people out there, I appreciate you listening or watching if you're on YouTube. Yeah, this is a new thing, trying to be consistent with it, trying to do it daily. I don't always have the most interesting things to talk about, but that's where I'm going to get better. Over time, that's where I hope to get better, is sort of filling the void, making this actually entertaining beyond just like, here's my new thing. Cool, thanks, bye. And, I'm just, hopefully it's going to be a growing process, and I appreciate any of you being along the way while I figure this all out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be bumpy. Hopefully you'll never see me cry on camera, but hey, I'm an emotional guy. I'm in touch with my feelings. Anyway, hope you're having a good week. Hope you're having a good day, night, evening, whatever. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening. Just kidding. Yeah, hope you're having a good day. This is the Hack of All Trades. I am your host, Jordan Johnson, and I am the Hack of All Trades. Ooh.